All right, everybody, it's Bernie and Lance. We're coming to you again with another edition of How To. Lance, this week, the people want to know, how do they do keyword research for themselves?
Well, I like to do it a little different than most people, right? If you want to do it by yourself, Google has a keyword tool out there that you can use, but there's other tools out there you should be using with it, right? Because Google's only giving you slightly some information. They're not going to give you everything. So Google Keyword Tool is one. That's a great tool, right? Mm-hmm. I also like tools like SpyFu is a great tool to look. And the reason why I say like tools like SpyFu and Keyword Spy, and you want to use some of these other tools, SEMrush, is because those tools right there will allow you to see what your competitors have been paying for and what they're doing. And if you see keywords that have been around with ads for a long time, meaning 5, 6, 4, 3 years, they're probably good keywords that are converting for your competitor. So you might want to say, okay, let me start there. Another reason why keyword research is so important, everybody just wants to rush into it, right? On the organic side, is it realistic that you can rank for that keyword? So I'm not going to get into the SEO deep dive it, but you want to know, if I got a keyword here and all the competitors have 2,000 words on each page of their content and 150,000 good backlinks, it's going to be very hard to outrank them. Granted, you could start today and rank there 5, 6 years from now, maybe, but it's not going to happen instantaneously. So you really want to take a look at that. But for the paid side, why keyword research is so important too is people go in, they just start putting keywords in that they think as themselves, and they speak, and you really get a really negative keyword out, make it granular, and maximize your spend. Most people do not do keyword research correctly, and let's throw it over to Anthony Kane and let him show everybody how we do keyword research with some of our cool tools, and maybe it will help them out. Is that cool, Bernie?
It's cool. Anthony, take it away, my friend.
All right. Thank you so much, Lance. Thank you so much, Bernie. Always a treat when I get to kind of jump in and piggyback off with some of the great information that you guys are sharing. Lance, you mentioned right off the bat Google's Keyword Planner. And yes, this is a free tool out there for business owners, marketers, whoever it might be that can come in, use this tool, get great information. There's a couple of things that you want to kind of keep in mind when you look at a tool like this. I just did a couple of random searches, emergency plumber, 24/7 plumber, and 24-hour plumber. Like Lance said, you'll get some information here. Google does want you to ultimately, pay for these clicks eventually. So they're going to say they're great keywords or that there's great search volume. So kind of keep that in the back of your mind too sometimes. But you'll also get a ton of great ideas, things that maybe you didn't think about right away. You'll get different variations and different ways people are searching. 2 things I want to mention about the keyword planner that I think are super helpful. First, a lot of people don't know to change the targeted location. It's kind of set by default to the United States. Suppose I wanted to see maybe Houston. I can now save that and I can come down and see, okay, the search volume now a little bit more realistic for my target area. I'm looking at Houston. I can see some of these numbers and say, okay, 210 times a month is still great. It's a few times a day. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I'm there. The other thing I wanted to talk about with the keyword planner is also keep in mind the percentage of searches that take place on the phone. Every year we see this gap getting closer and closer and closer. You can even see at the end how close it's getting because the majority of searches are taking place on mobile. So kind of keep that in mind. That gap is going to be smaller. Your users are searching on their phone. So keep that in mind. They're typing really quick. There's short-term phrases right there. You want to make sure you're including those types of terms. Another tool that kind of piggybacks off of the keyword planner is Google Trends. We talk about Google Trends a lot, and I kind of give a quirky example whenever I talk about Google Trends, but this is kind of waterbed here in blue, how many times people are searching waterbed on Google. And you can see, obviously starting, I'm sure if you go further back into the 90s, it would be even higher, but starting in 2004, you can see how it's kind of declined over the years. And then on the complete flip side, something that's taken the mattress industry by storm is Mattress in a Box, and you can see kind of the exact opposite spread there of how it's just continuing to peak and continuing to rise. And so that's sort of a fun example, but in a more realistic sense, and I hate to use this example, but you can kind of see work from home software, like different terms, different things pertaining to your industry. You can kind of get some great insights into Google Trends. You can see how just in March there was a huge demand for that. There was a huge spike, people searching for work from home jobs or whatever it might be. So that's kind of one quick example of how you can use this realistically, but kind of think that way. People are looking for telemedicine. People are looking for a virtual consultation with a plumber. People are searching those types of ways, and this is where you're going to find it. You're going to see those breakout terms that you're jumping in front of before your competitors are. So that's a great example. The other 2 tools Lance mentioned were SpyFu and SEMrush, 2 great tools as well. I really like SpyFu because you can get some information in terms of your competitors, like Lance mentioned. So this is a great tool that'll help you overlap what terms maybe you're going after that your competitors are also going after, what terms your competitors are ranking for that you're not. And so this is just, a simple example, Ford, Chevy, and Dodge. But you can right here see, okay, there's terms in the middle that all three rank for. There's terms that just Chevy ranks for. There's terms that just Ford ranks for. And you can start to see that breakdown and really start to pinpoint, okay, what are some of the terms we're all competing for? What are some of the things that they're doing that we didn't think about? Start to build your list that way as well. And one of the reasons why SEM Rush is kind of a tool that does a lot. It does a lot for you on the paid side. It does a lot for you on the organic side. Lance talked about thinking about how realistic a keyword might be. And that's really important. You don't need to try to rank for everything under the sun all at once. You set a nice expectation, a nice core list of terms. And then as you start to gain traction, you start to add in more terms to your keyword list. But one of the things that I like about this is, I just did mattress in a box. You can see the search volume, kind of get an idea of how difficult that term might be to rank. But you can actually see historical data. So, for example, if I scroll down, here's kind of the current landscape of June right now, 2020. You got USA Today, an article that's in the #1 spot, Ashley Furniture #2, Wayfair number 3. No mention of Purple, for example, which is a very common mattress that we see nowadays. They're actually on the second page. But if I went back 1 year, let's say I wanted to see June of 2019, you can actually see how the landscape changes completely. You've got Purple there in #5, Ashley Furniture in #1, Walmart's in #2. And so this is great because you can start to say, okay, these couple of competitors have been ranking 1, 2, and 3 for the last 2 years. We know this term's going to be harder to kind of gain entryway into. Or, hey, this term's really volatile. It's changing every day. People are constantly outranking each other for this term. Hey, this might be a good opportunity for us to throw ourselves in the mix and see if we can gain some traction. So it's a great tool to get other ideas and to get really good insight into how your competitors are bidding on specific keywords. You can see the ads that they're running, the ad copy that they're running. So this is certainly a tool you'd want to add to your game plan as well. And as always, if anybody has any questions or feedback, feel free to reach out to Lance, to Bernie, to myself. We look forward to always working with you guys. So thank you so much, and I will talk to you guys later.